Congratulations, you are most successful life. I went to Scott Beeler.
Scott Beeler.
Good morning, Zach.
Yeah, I met him.
Yeah.
The first time I went to the quail futurity in Carbondale, Illinois, I didn't have no place to stay. You and Bill Rail was staying in kind of a barracks-like thing over there, a little place that took me in. You might not remember this, but I'll never forget it. And y'all told me about the birds and the bees. A field trial.
Bill Rail.
Bill Rail. I never enjoyed nothing anymore. I was just a young man, maybe 25, less than 30 years old.
You believe all those lies we told?
Yes, I did. I believed every one of them. And I believed everything you told me about the field trial judging, too. It was bad then.
Did I tell you the truth about that?
Yes, sir. It ain't changed a bit since.
Bad dead and getting worse.
It's getting worse, if anything. That's correct. But I never forgot. I always admired Bill Rail. Always me and him traveled some on the road. He helped me win the North Carolina championship. And I always respected you and Bill Rail as two of the top men of the bird dog world, but could taking me in when I needed somewhere to stay.
I tell you, you weren't in Canada when all that
No, sir.
judgment was going on.
No, sir.
I didn't think I'd just see you. I didn't think you'd see a lot of these fellows.
How far you live from here? You in Mississippi, aren't you?
Yeah, just north of Jackson.
I fought a lot of hard battles and took a lot of losses and I paid a lot of dues. But I ain't give up yet. I ain't quit.
Yeah.
I ain't got any sense. I done raised Tuesday week. Oh,
When are you running?
A week from Tuesday. He drawed the last day. I told him to save the best to the last.
Should be climbed in the window in this building.
Look here how tall he is. Come here,
Well, I
Jack.
don't know if we're winning that. I bet it's going to make it work.
Come here, Jack. Jack. Look up.
Oh,
Very few. See how easy he puts his feet on you? He's about as tall as you are. That's
The old Texas Ranger come up to me. Just like that.
Pete, you got him ready this year?
I tell you what.
It helps. It helps to do it all in there.
Yeah. Look old Brad over. He's got you on that several times, eh? Well, I want some of these pictures of me and Mr. Jack. Now, Mr. Jack's always been one of my favorites. I've seen this dog point 42 colors of birds in 5.5 hours. It got dark on us.
Come here, Jack.
My son and I was
When
trying
you
to
was
run.
been in South Texas, you find that.
It's North Florida is about the same thing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Shinnery, huh?
Yeah. It's
Shinnery oak.
and chinkapins,
Yeah.
the little chinkapin
Yeah.
bushes. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what they got in South Texas.
Yeah, and he said his legs would be the same size from his shoulders to his feet tomorrow. And they ain't never puffed on him, never. This one puffed a little bit. I run him 3 hours in Tallahassee, Florida plantation, running 3 hours. And I think he hit a hole. I seen him fall one time. He's still on his head falling. But he sprung out. That's the only time he's ever puffed any in his life. I bred him when I was a young man to bird hunt with, to walk all day in the cold and the rain. You know what, Mr. Jack, bothers me about the field trials of bird dogs now is most all the trainers are doing private training and they're losing the love of the sport. How many trainers it's going to come on? And Mr. Troy right there knows me. I sent him notes. He called me and talked to him. I ate pinto, pork and beans and sardines on the prairie and didn't have money to buy a good steak. And how many trainers are left who's going to be devoted enough to stay in the bird dog business, produce dogs like that will point birds just for the love of the bird dog? And so many trainers go into private training just to make more money. They're forgetting about the dogs and the quality of dogs. And how long are there going to be any good dogs around?
Well, yeah, it all helps, don't
It does. But you can't imagine, as Brad said to me, he said, you spend a lot of time with that dog. No one knows just how much time me and that dog. We started out in Texas when he's 10 months old.
That's one of the secrets of making a good dog, is spending time with them. I love a people dog. I want my dog to get up on me and love me just like my good wife. I want them to know I'm their buddy, I'm their friend.
Yeah.
And they'll, if they got it in them, they'll perform for you.
Yeah, here.
And they even know your touch.
Right. That dog don't want to pick up a bird. but he's a nice tender retriever, and he'll pick it up just because I want him to.
Yeah.
He don't like feathers in his mouth, but he'll pick that bird up just because I want him to.
You know, talking about
nice
spending
dog.
time with a dog, old Hoyle Eaton. His two best dogs slept in the house with him every night.
Come in, Doug. Come over here.
Slept in the living room.
Hold right there.
I went through the registration line at the University of South Carolina in 1947. And I signed up for a course under Dr. Havilah Babcock. And when he saw my name, he says, "Oh, Troy Newman," says, "you the young man that's got the good dog, Prince." I said, "Yes, sir." And that was a dog that made a name for himself right quick. First dog I ever owned. Well, anyway, we got to talking about dogs, and he says, "If you got a good dog, Mr. Newman," he says, "the last 2 weeks before the season begins, says you ought to get your wife out of bed and sleep with your dog. Says he'll really get out there and work for you." I never did.
Sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
I never did do that, but I got his point.
Yeah. The dog knows when you love him and when you don't.
Yeah, that's right.
They can feel it just like a human. I can look at that dog, just look at him and hurt his feelings.
I got a big, stout son of his, a male. It's an excellent bird dog, and stylish. I'm gonna be selling him for a while. I'll let you know. Just as big as he is.
Is he?
Yep. Beautiful dog. I got all the shooting dogs I
He
need.
sees a bird out
He's all right, man.
there. He does. He knows a dog, man.
I smell like a dog.
No, he just, they got that instinct. A dog has got that. You born with it, you're born with it.
When you're ready, I'll introduce him, see.
We're ready.
Okay, to my friends that might be watching this video, I'm going to introduce the bird dog man of all time, Mr. Jack Harper. And we're standing here in the museum, and some of his stuff is shown, and here's the saddle, I believe, you rode for many years, right?
That's right.
How'd you get that little tear in there? You remember that?
Lord, I don't know. A horse probably stepped on it.
Think you might have?
Yeah.
I guess you saw a lot of good dogs while you were sitting in that saddle.
Yeah, he probably threw me off and stepped on it.
Yeah, you say this is a good friend of yours right here?
That's Buckingham.
Yeah, I bet he was. While we're here in the museum, looking at any of these pictures that bring back memories to you of the dogs or the people.
He sure does. He knocked me out on a winning cup championship.
He did.
Yeah. He's blind as a bat.
Nash was blind as a bat.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be darned. Well, I know that a lot of these dogs you've seen and enjoyed watching.
There's got to be dogs in here of yours.
More than likely.
Yeah, right there's one, the Arkansas Ranger. Right here, Troy.
Yes, Arthur, right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a painting of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite a dog.
You remember that dog well? Jack?
Huh?
You remember that dog?
Arkansas Ranger.
That's a painting, but there's a photograph of him somewhere. At least I gave him one. Not I'll send him one.
Yeah.
You can't tell anything about a painting. That's just somebody's imagination. That's just an artist's imagination.
Well, let's find a picture of him and you tell us something you remember about the dog. We'll find the picture here in a minute. That's a dog you remember?
That's what it says there.
I know, but it's not.
That's not the right one. We'll straighten Mr. Dunn out here and tell him you said that wasn't home again, had it.
Well, was that spot on, two spots on his back?
Yeah.
She didn't have no spots on him. I picked it here somewhere.
I'll be done. Let me have that and I'll put him back. I guess she was quite a dog, wasn't she?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, did you ran her that year? She won the national championship in '62, right?
Yeah.
Says you handled her that year. Mr. V.F. Johnson, the owner. Well,
Yeah, I knew exactly where that picture was made.
I'll be darned.
Where was it?
It was on the free-for-all grounds over there at Canton, Mississippi. Yeah, that's a good picture.
Let me get it back up there, Brad.
That's a natural style. That's photograph.
You remember winning the national with her vividly?
Pretty vividly, yeah.
You remember how many fines she had?
11.
You ask him some questions. Any questions you think?
Well, you've had so many dogs in here. Is there one that was a favorite?
You want to put?
My favorite? Well, I guess it have to be Texas Ranger.
Texas Ranger.
They haven't got his photograph here.
Oh, I bet we do.
It's got a painting of him here.
Harper, can you tell us anything about your recollections of running in some of these big trials, and where maybe you thought you had it won and you didn't, or you won it and you wasn't expecting it, or anything that pops up in your mind that the nowadays fellas might find interesting?
I never won much as I wasn't expecting.
Huh? You did what now?
I never thought they gave me much.
Well, they don't give too many of them away, do they?
Not to the working folks.
Pete's the only one that happens to.
Yeah, they give Pete one every now and then because they're scared of him.
I can think a lot of times when I know I was robbed.
There ain't nobody scared of me.
What-
They wouldn't take so much away from me.
What was one time that you think you were robbed? In a very serious vein now.
The most serious one was in the championship in Canada. I had 6 clean finds with Texan Boy and run all over the world.
With what now?
Texan Boy,
Texan boy.
yeah. And he was a running dog and pointed with his tail straight up. And the dog that beat me had 1 fine, and it was on a, they never did flush a bird, but one of the judges is also a reporter. He saw a pheasant running set. He said, "Hey, I see a pheasant, Dewey, go ahead." I saw the pheasant running, and he never flushed a bird in front of it.
And you had 6 fines?
6 clean fine run all over the
Right.
world.
Now, keep that camera on for this.
Wait a minute, you gotta let me.
You ready now, Brad?
Uh-huh.
All right.
He said it was all flash.
You had 6 clean finds and flushed all your birds.
Yeah.
And he had 1 point and didn't flush a bird
Didn't flush
and beat you. All right, now let me tell you about 1988. I flushed 19 coveys, 1 flush premature at the national championship, and you look at Brad Harder's tape with Navajo Dude and Mark Roper never flushed a bird in front of that dog during the 3 hours initial heat nor the hour and 18 minutes final. And if it's one place on that tape where he flushed a bird, put this on tape too. I'll give everybody in Grand Junction a week to draw a crowd and kiss their ass in Memphis, Tennessee. That's the gospel. You can look at it. That's the gospel.
I didn't think those things happened. They really happen like that?
I'm telling you the truth, what happened. If old John Gardner lied, he saw it, he can tell you too. He's the only one.
We don't doubt your word at all, but we got the video to show this.
Yeah. Well, what other real pleasurable moments about a trial or a dog that you can remember that you might jog our memories on?
I don't know, I put one above the other several times when I was real happy about it. I guess Texas Ranger took the first time he won a free-for-all probably.
Texas Ranger was a great one, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. And he won a state down there in South Texas too. I mean, that was really a race. He knocked both of those over, you know.
What was the most dreaded dog when you had the Texas Ranger? What was the most dreaded dog you hated to have to beat in field trial? Or did you dread any of them?
Ariel, I guess.
He was a tough one,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a good one. He and Ariel were running the same time, and Ariel was a good dog too. he was the one I had to beat.
He's always one that's just,
Yeah.
you think, well, if I can get by that and I got the rest of them licked, you know.
And Mr. Harper, I've read your book 2 or 3 times, and you give the average bird dog fellow that reads that book a lot of good tips and a lot of food for thought, like properly taking care of your dog,
Yeah.
feeding him properly and what have you. And I see a lot of people that have hunting dogs and they're a tool instead of a friend.
Mhm.
And I've always felt that if you're gonna have a good dog and a dog that wants to perform for you, you gotta give them a little love and good
Yeah.
attention and a clean pen and a good place to sleep.
They gotta believe in you.
That's right. Yeah, well, you gave us a lot of good food in your book, a lot of good thoughts, and we appreciate that.
Well, a dog's not gonna perform unless he got proper nutrition.
That's right.
And I'll say that for Clyde Morton and Hoyle Eaton and John Gates, they fed their dogs right.
Mm-hmm.
And it paid off too.
Yeah, that's right. Their record speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm. I've seen some that didn't feed anything but commercial food and they didn't want much.
Uh-huh. Well, you ought to get another one and get it going and come back down here and show us how to do it. Just being here is a lot of fun, meeting all the people, chatting. It's people like you that really add the finishing touches to the national championship when you show up and we can talk to you and we can listen.
Old Clyde Morton was one of the best trainers I know of. He wasn't much of a talker, but he took care of his dogs. He'd win any way he could win, but he also took care of his dogs.
Well, from what you read and see today, I imagine mostly read today, do you think there's very much difference in the quality or the caliber of the judges that we got today as compared to the judges back in your time in the days of
Well,
Ariel?
I don't
and what
know
have
about
you?
the quality, but some of them today don't have much experience, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The qualities might be just as good as anybody, but they just haven't had the experience.
Do you think a man that if he hasn't raised and trained dogs or maybe run dogs and really knows a whole lot about dogs, he got the business out there in the saddle judging a good dog?
Well, the clubs got to take what they can get.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think maybe
Sometimes they can't get what they want.
I think maybe that's probably about
Just
right.
take what they can get.
I think for a
Mr.
man,
Available, there are a lot of Mr. Availables now. that don't-
Mr. Available,
Yeah.
You got that
yeah,
right.
we've had a few then. But I think for a man to really be a good judge and be objective from all angles, he's got to know dogs, and it wouldn't hurt if he trained a few of his own.
It wouldn't hurt if he started hunting birds when he was a kid too, you know,
That's right.
and watched them for a long period of time.
Yeah. Well,
You know what she's gonna do every day. The most consistent dog, her and Bisco Big Jack is 2 of the most consistent dogs that I've ever had any dealing with. We were in Hightstown, New Jersey, and I'd won the championship the year before with her as a young, she was just a derby. And they'd run 2 or 3 days and hadn't had much good bird work, and the judges was right behind me in the booth, said, "Pete, you gonna go out there like the rest of them and just kind of goof around, or you gonna be serious?" I said, "Let me see your book." Louis Farmer was one of the judges, and Dick Popham. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm gonna do. And I wrote in that book, I put down 2 fines like this in Roman numerals, and then slanted one, and then put down 2 more. I didn't cross them like you do with the 5, but I had 5 fines down. A great breakaway, a good strong finish, and 5 fines. I said, I'm gonna win this championship. Well, she went out there and done just exactly that. But the judge asked me, "Why did you put one line slanted?" I said, "That's when the judge tried to mess me up." And on her 3rd fine, I was sketching up to the front, she jumped across a terrace just with flat honeysuckers on the ground and just changed ends in the air and pointed. And I called point. And there was something that eaten a bird there, and it pulled his whole like back of his head and pulled all the skin off, feathers and all, and was laying on the ground, and it eat it right there. And I said, "There's nothing but feathers here." He says, "Pete, you got to make it fly." And he said several people have caught the point here, but this is what they call phantom corner.
Yeah.
I looked down the groundhog hole about that big, and I set a bird back in there about a foot deep. I got back about 3 foot behind that hole and come and stomping.
Something out.
And it walked him out. I said, "Now you remember the marker slanted on your book, Judge?" I said, "This is it." And whenever I picked her up, he says, "I'm not going to change a thing in the book." Now I said, "Where do you want her to finish?" Down through the woods, they had a little wooded area go through, and then we come out and open. He said, "You only got 30 seconds left." I said, "There's a long bottom this way." He said, "Put her in the long bottom or go on through the wood and let her finish on course, whichever you choose." I said, "I want to take the long bottom because I want to fulfill that last line, a strong finish." I sent her down to the bottom and she edged out on the creek bank. I said, "Would you like to see her jump that creek bank and go on?" He said, "Yes, sir, let's see her jump the creek bank and go on." I blowed the whistle and give her a high C. She went right over the ditch. Started down it, and I said, "There's a little knoll over around now that's just about as far as you can see. Would you like to see her go over that knoll?" "Yeah," he said, "I'd like to see her go over that knoll, but time's done been run out." And I give her another high C, and whoosh, she went right over that knoll. I said, "Is there anything else you'd like me to do with this dog, Judge?" He said, "Just go catch her and bring her and let me pet her." And I ain't gonna change a thing in the book.
What was that breeding?
That's fast delivery. It's haberdasher. She was by out of a bitch called Mischievous. Mischievous was a Dr. Bumgard dog, Atgard dog, wasn't it? What they call him? In Charlotte, North Carolina. And she was sired by Bisco Pete, and he was sired by Rocky Creek Bend on his sire side. And it was basically, it's all fast delivery on the bottom side.
Fast delivery, Red Abraham told me, he had a manufacturer's pedigree. He said he got 2 crosses Texas Ranger. Actually.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the way his pedigree was. Fred Abraham told me that.
Yeah, he was a good dog.
So she had 2 crosses.
That's right. This dog, now this might not sound too nice on film, but you might like it too. I could haul her a long distance and take her out the truck, like stop right here in front of and she just dying to use the bathroom. And even after she had dilated, I said, "No, don't do that here. Come over here." She'd go across like this and run behind the bush for me. Through. That's how smart she was.
A mannerly dog.
Mannerly dog.
Yeah.
She'd hold it. Took me Flatwood Hank when he was a derby. And he said, "I believe he's got good potentials, but I can't get him to run forward. He loops around a whole lot." And I put a good pattern on him and placed him in Alabama, North Carolina, on the prairies, and qualified him for the national championship, and got him invited to invitation the same year. And he had a extra long tail and had a little crook in it. I carried him to the vet and cut it off and fixed him a nice tail. And but I told John Quiswell at the Prairie when he won that junior all-age stake up there that I would win the national championship with him this year. And I always felt like John called the Gates and told him that he was a great prospect, and he's won every time we put him down about it, and got them to buy him. And they bought him right about the time to go to the invitation, and then went on and won the national with him.
But he really butted up to the Gates so quickly.
Yeah, and I feel like he tipped them off on that dog. They bought them both right out the money right in the middle of the season. I didn't even know the dog was going to be sold. As a matter of fact, I tried to buy Flatwood Bill, which was a better bird dog than this dog. I bred Tat to this dog, and I didn't get a winner. And I bred Tat to Flatwood Bill, and I got a runner-up champion first year all age and multiple derby wins and all age wins. But I didn't get a winner out of his litter. it's gratifying.
On the way home.
But what a true dog trainer, are you ready?
Mhm.
What a true dog trainer lives for is to breed, raise, train, and show and win the national championship with his dog that no man's never touched. In his own mind, he mated the two dogs. In his own judgment, he trained them. It's always gratifying to win. And we're grateful to win anytime with any way we can, and anybody win the national, any kind of dog to buy or trade for or what. But a purebred dog trainer that loves his dog, loves the sport, his heart's desire is to breed at his own discretion 2 dogs, raise the puppy himself, start him, train him, finish him, show him, and win the national championship with him. That's his goal complete.
Well, that's a cup of tea.
And that's it. And to be denied that when you do it in beautiful fashion, it takes a lot out of you so far as going to field trials showing dog, but it don't take anything out of your love for your dog, nor the sport of matching the wits of a bird dog with the wire little brown bones.
Well, old Clyde Martin, he bred a good many head and trained them and all that,
Right.
so I guess he got a lot of gratification out of it, but I can't understand why he committed suicide.
That is a mystery, isn't it? That is a mystery. I have been asked, had I ever considered committing suicide? I said I'd shoot the whole damn world for it with Pete Hicks.
Clyde tried it twice.
Yeah.
He
that's-
wounded himself first time and
Didn't
die.
That's right.
3 or
If
4
they ever,
years later, he shot himself.
I'll tell you something now. If you ever find this boy dead and if they committed suicide, have a thorough examination. Call in a genius squad because that ain't gonna happen. I mean, what happens in judging or field trials, there's no way that I'll ever take my life. No way.
Well, if I was gonna shoot myself, I'd get a 12 gauge shot. So I shot himself 410.
Yeah.
You do it with a 12, huh? You're gonna do it? Well, that makes a little
Yeah.
sense.
He didn't do a good job first time, you know. He survived the first time and second.
I don't like a lot of things that goes on in this life, but if I kill myself, I don't think I'd like anything that would go on then.
If you gotta go in a hurry, the best way to go is be shot by some young, jealous husband.
Yeah.
That'll take you too.
Or get hung at 85 for rape.
Brad, you
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, you're on the right.
On the right, yeah.
Do you remember when that was taken?
1962, home again, that's home again, hated it.
Now, was that the year you came here with her?
That's the year I won the national with home again, had 1962.
And you were elected into the Hall of Fame, too.
Yeah. Now, I say that, I don't, it may have been taken at the US Open because I don't know why they'd take that picture at the national championship. It must have been at the US Open.
Yeah.
But she did win the national championship in 62.
Well, we can figure out your age if you know. How old were you when that picture was taken? You don't know how now you're.
I'm 87 now. I'll be 88 in March, and that was made in 72. 72. Oh no, I was elected to the Hall of Fame in 72.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah.
Well, you remember when you won that with her here? Did you know you'd won it when you were done with your 3 hours? Had she run the way you wanted her to?
I didn't know whether I knew I was pretty high, and I had heard some rumors that I was high. Of course, I didn't watch them all. I couldn't say whether I won it or not because I didn't see the others run.
Well, you know, when John Gardner won it with Miss One Dot, he felt he knew he'd put it all together.
Yeah.
He'd spread his bird work out over the 3 hours, and she'd been strong, and she'd run the kind of race they want to see here.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Hattie was capable.
Well, he had
of
a
that.
good scout too.
Yeah. Well, you've had some good scouts.
Yeah, I had a good scout when I won the national with her.
Who
I
was
wasn't
it?
the one with that. His name was Jerry Sapp. He done quit me and going into bootlegging business, but when she got when I ran her in the national, well, I paid him to come and scout, and also the free-for-all. I won the free-for-all with Jerry, and that's after he quit working for me.
May I shoot
But he
quick?
knew the dog, and I knew her, and the dog knew him, and I knew I couldn't win it without him. So I gave him 20% of the purse if he would scout for me, and he did, and he won the free-for-all and the national with Jerry helping me. And that's because the dog knew him, and he knew the dog. I couldn't have done it without him. Because he'd worked for me before, you know, and he knew what to do. And you got to have a scout to win this state, normally. But he's the only dog that ever won it without a scout. Arkansas Range.
He just would handle that well for you, and you knew where he was, huh?
He's just a dog, like Texas Ranger, you couldn't lose him. He popped at the front. He'd come on to the front.
Well, you sure had some of the great ones. Would you do it all over again if you had your? Would you do it just the way you did it? You love training dogs,
I
didn't you?
guess so. I just got drawn into it and couldn't quit, so I just didn't know. It just, you know, life just happens what you run into, the environment, what things that happen.
What in the world drew you into it?
Well, I've been around bird dogs since I was that high, and I liked them, and I wasn't good for anything else, we put it that way. I didn't get interested in anything else, so I knew I wasn't going to ever make a living at it, but I don't know. I could have done other things and made more money, but I wasn't interested in them.
Well, you had fun and met a lot of good people.
Oh yeah, a lot of fine people, and a few rascals. But by and large, field trial people are real fine people.
Just listen. That's right. The best advice he ever given in my life was on beer grass. It'll kill him, Bill. Don't turn it loose, kill him. Yeah, that was the best advice I ever had. And I'll tell you what, I've never lost a dog in beer grass. And there has been people, and that's just the reason right there. And because he said, I'm scared to death of it, and don't work them in it. That's killing. And that's the truth. And so they get one and work them in it. That's a little get one. Yep. Beer grass is the most dangerous thing we've got to cope with, and it's nothing bad if you just don't work it. You know, if we just lay off a week or two. I had a dog trainer tell me one time, he said, I've got to work. He said, I've got to work. And I said, it don't do you no good with dead dogs. You know, if they're dead, what good does it do you? And it'll sure enough kill them. If you're getting ready for a field call, kill them. Oh, what is doing? I'll tell you what, Jack will tell you the same thing. You see guys that leave Canada with sharp dogs, and all of a sudden, well, so-and-so died. Yeah. Well, he had some foreign, you know, substance in it.